Hello YouTube, today at powerjackrepair.org, just the powerjackrepair.org, not this. I don't really have any people who are willing to work right now for money, so I can't really handle the USB-C repairs at this time, because I got plenty of those guys coming in. This is Lenovo Legion laptop, and this is Lenovo Legion 5. Let me again zoom in. Lenovo Legion 5, 15, it says right there. 15IMH05H. This is a bread and butter of this operation. If it wouldn't be for Lenovo Legion laptops, I would not be in business anymore of regular PowerJack repairs. When it comes to USB-C repairs, they just take forever, so it takes me It takes me about a day to repair one of the USB-C connections, like on your phone. Because many Lenovos now coming out with one of the smaller jacks and they break all the time. So if you have a laptop that has one of those connections, it's gonna last you about a year at the most. And most of the technology is moving towards 1 year maximum usage out of any device. So if you go into the space, you'll probably need to buy a new power connector, laptop with the power connector every year if you're on spaceship or someplace else. Because Lenovo advertises itself as the laptop that's going to be taken into space, which it's probably not, because hopefully somebody gonna see this video. Anyways, really good laptop in terms of for my business, and I really appreciate that Lenovo makes those. So it's like when you go to the doctor, they prescribe you everything that's gonna kill you. Same thing here, you know, it's if it wouldn't be for this guy, I would not be in business. Now, the problem here is that many of those Lenovo Legions are simply unfixable. About 20 to 30% of them are unfixable, even though the connector is broken. I can replace the connector on many of those, on all of them, all right? But many times the board is already fried, because when you wiggle this guy right here, this guy, when you wiggle it up, down, left, right, eventually what happens, the board basically just said, you know what, enough is enough. And the board shorts out, and I still can't figure out. It's been a couple of years, I've been looking. I have one of those a day, usually. And for a couple of years, I can't figure out what I can do, where exactly the shortage is at, or which component doesn't work. I tried everything, and I still can't find it. Can't figure it out. If somebody figured it out, please, leave a comment below, or I will pay you whatever amount of money. Just let me know the secret where exactly this board goes bad. Now, usually, a good sign that the laptop gonna work fine is if you look at this jack right here. I will show you the jack in a second, and you will see a black piece. On this laptop, we look at the jack and we don't see a central black piece, we see pins in there, whole bunch of pins. The worst thing here is if those pins right there are touching each other. So if you see the pins, the jack is obviously broken, but if the pins are touching each other, that's usually means that everything has been shorted already. In this case, I don't see pins touching each other, but maybe it's because I told the client try to straighten out the pins and see if he would be able to get the light right here. There's a red light right there. So if the client is able to get a red light right here when he straightens out the pins, so they would look something like, let me switch to a different camera here, so I would be able to show you what I'm talking about better here. Let's see. So this is how the pins look right now. You see the pins, and they don't touch each other. You see a central fork in there. And that fork should not be touching the pins on the left and on the right. And those pins on the left and on the right should not be touching the outer pins. Let's see if we can maybe do something like that. Yeah. sorry, trying to work everything here. So side springs right there should not be touching the cider positive ones, and shouldn't be touching, fork should not be touching anything either, because once you plug in this plug right here and the pins are touching each other, it's gonna short the board, and you're pretty much done. So quite honestly, I don't know if it's gonna be able to fix this laptop. I mean, I'm gonna replace the jack. I'm not gonna charge the client anything for the jack replacement, but I'm trying to make this video so that you guys would limit sending me the laptops that don't work at all. So if your Lenovo Legion, as soon as it starts to wiggle, as soon as you start to wiggle anything, send it in, I will fix it, it's gonna work. Once you get to the point where it just stops working, here is where that's the reason I'm making this video, because I got Lenovo Legion Y540, Y570, says 740. All of them have exactly the same issue. So this is just like a word of caution, guys. Save my time and your time, so I wouldn't be wasting anyone's time, and you wouldn't be spending on shipping, because I only charge if the laptop works fine after the repair. If it doesn't work fine, I don't charge you anything. And I've been in business 20 years, all right? So usually it used to be really simple business. You replace the jack, everything works. When it comes to Lenovo Legions or any other Lenovo laptop, the way how they do business now is, as soon as any shortage starts to happen, they just short out the motherboard and buy a new laptop. So alrighty, so we got 4 short screws here. We got long. All right, it seems like somebody already opened up this laptop before. Come on. All right, so when it comes to Legion 5, many people just short out the board to begin with before they even ship it to me. And I will show you where exactly they usually, everything just, like every single laptop Legion that people try to open themselves, they usually just fry the motherboard. So again, this video is just a word of caution. Here, what I want to do is I want to put this guitar pick in there. All right. And we want to do little guitar pick right here. Once we got this guy out, we want to do a guitar pick on this end right here. Okay. Many times I get this guy broken right here on the side, which is no big deal. It's just cosmetic. If you can live with it, it's no big deal. Oh, come on. All right, so that's how you open it, guys. Don't want to crack the casing. I had to get into a more comfortable position to break the, oh shoot. All right, so, all right. Now, if the jack wouldn't break, the system would obviously die by itself. Let me explain to you why. I had a screw. Had a screw falling down. All right. As you can see right here, look at that right here. If it wouldn't come here for a power jack repair, it would just overheat and die. Oh, you see all this plastic, broken plastic. Sometimes the plastic itself shorts everything out. You see thing right here? You see this thing right here? This is a dead laptop in about, well, it's already dead, kind of, in terms of, if this guy wouldn't break, the CPU would fry, or a GPU. Usually the GPU fries. Now, the first thing you want to do here, once you open up this thing, is this connector right here. Don't touch it with anything metal. Don't breathe on it. The reason is this is a positive end right here. This is a negative end. You see this component right there? This is a ground right here. So as soon as you try to do something here, that basically those capacitors right here, if you short them out, you are done. All right. So the best thing you can do is disconnect this guy the best you can. All right. And the way you disconnect it is really tricky one. I still couldn't figure out how the best way to disconnect it. Even I cannot figure it out. So I am trying to see what I can do here. Show you that we just take a regular pen, I guess, plastic pen, not a metal one, and we pull this cord out. You see, plastic with the rubber on the top. That's the best tool I could find right here. I got a whole bunch of picks, but most of them are conductive. So once you disconnect this guy, you are safe to proceed. If you didn't disconnect this guy, don't touch anything here. It's gonna short because the battery usually has some charge left in it, even if it doesn't power up the system anymore. It's no big deal. All right, so here we need a different type of bit, which we're gonna find probably right here. This one gonna be just fine. Yep. All right, let's take this guy off. And by the way, this is a really expensive laptop. All right, like that. Sometimes we have fallen screws. We're gonna take them here. All right. Oh, so what I was saying, do you see how much dust in here? It's not cooling anything. This is not cooling anything. The laptop is made to break in about, this thing made to break in a year. If it's not gonna break, this guy gonna... They all dust collectors. I haven't seen a Lenovo Legion with the clean fans. It doesn't matter. Even if you live in a clean room, it doesn't matter. I mean, they all collect a whole bunch of dust. I do get a lot of motherboards for repair. And that's the reason I'm showing you those videos, because I want to caution you that you see this pad right here? It has to be there. This pad has to be there when you put it all back together, because that's what cooling down this SSD. Not the SSD, the NVMe, NVMe. It should say here someplace, NVMe. Well, this is the SSD right here. This is the NVMe. You know what skips my mind right now. But anyways, the pad has to be there, because otherwise it's not cooling the chip gonna fry. All right. So careful about those pads. Once you start missing the pads, the whole laptop gonna fry. And I get complaints from some clients that, oh, the laptop is breathing too hard after I replace the jack on the motherboard. It's breathing hard because you missed the pad someplace. All right. Don't want to strip this screw. All right. Again, make sure the battery is disconnected. That's the simplest thing, because people forget to disconnect the battery properly. They touch something here, something shorts, and they don't tell me, and I have to try and fix it, thinking, you know, what was done properly. Anyways, we're still removing the battery. We're still removing the battery like that, like that. By the way, we do accept donations, and thanks to your donations, I was able to buy the best microscope there is for $1,000. And you could see it in the prior video. I was able to, I mean, I had a couple $1,000 in microscopes already. Just this one is top of the line. But I mean, it's still not good enough to be one and only microscope. I still have to use the other ones. But when it comes to what I was missing, that microscope is the best ever. All right, so here, what we want to do is we want to disconnect the CMOS battery. Now, here's the thing. Once you disconnect the CMOS battery, if you have a bit liker on your laptop, the bit liker gonna reset, and if you don't have the bit liker unlock number, that's a really good thing. I mean, I do get a lot of complaints that, you know what, we sent you the motherboard, we put everything in, we put the SSD in, and the laptop is requiring a bit liker. So here's the thing. Once you disconnect this guy, you do need a bit liker, all right? Because once the CMOS is disconnected, the battery no longer has the bit liker in the memory of the board, and you are required to put in a bit liker one more time. If you don't have a bit liker on your computer, don't worry about it. But just some people are so into security, they secure it so much that then it's impossible to unsecure anything. So please, yeah, here, proper hinge, flip it upwards, remove it like that. Here we got the two wires, like that, bring it over here, and like that, okay? I'm just showing you how you can take it all apart and send me just the motherboard. If you send me just the motherboard, it's easier for me, simply because here I'm wasting my time trying to take it apart, and I know that the chances that it's gonna work are pretty much not that much, because the pins were already exposed. When you send the motherboard, I will already know, if it's broken or not. If it's broken beyond the repair. And I will show you in a little bit, once you take it down to the motherboard, you will be able to see if the laptop is fixable or not fixable. All right. So here we got another hinge. You want to disconnect this guy like that. And you want to take this guy out like that. All right. Here we want to lift up this hinge like that and pull out this cable like I think it's glued into the board here. Yeah, I think it's glued in. Maybe I shouldn't even touch it. I'm not gonna be able to find this cable anywhere. Anyways, let me leave it there for now. I'm just gonna unscrew this board, and we're gonna unscrew this guy here. Maybe there is a screw underneath this Wi-Fi. Maybe not. There is some loose stuff flying all over. Anyways, here. One screw, two screws. Three screw. That guy right here. That guy right there. All right. All right, so here what you need to do. All right, so here is the situation. If you pull on this cord upwards, it's gonna take out the connector from the motherboard as well. So you wanna hold down the connection and kind of do the leverage. I need to hold it down much better than that. Okay. So here, we're gonna hold it down like that. I'm gonna lift up this guy. Here. All right. So again, you wanna keep pressure down on the connection here and pull this guy upwards. Same thing right here. You kind of wanna do the leverage push. Basically, you don't wanna be Come on. Yeah, you see how the plastic breaks? I mean, the connection is so solid. Okay. Okay. Again, wiggle it around to disconnect those guys. Okay. Here we got this guy out. All right. So here we have a screw under the Lenovo. Another screw right here. Another 3 screws, 1 and 2 right there. 2 and 3. All right, and another one right there, 4. All right, so we got this guy right here. We're gonna set that aside. And I wonder if... Oh, okay, you still need to take the heatsink off. By the way, Lenovo Legion comes in many different configurations, and I have about a dozen videos of Lenovo Legion repairs, so see which one is exact to you. So this one, it says Wi-Fi 50, all right? So this one is closer to Wi-Fi 50. There is Wi-Fi 40, 740, depends on the screen. So don't just watch this video, watch some other videos on this channel. All right, so let's start with the number 6, 5, 4, okay. Now here's the situation. When you lift it, you need to make sure that all the pads are in the right places. Oh. All right, so once you flip it, take a picture of every single pad you got here, because those are the pads. Once you lose one of those pads, your system gonna fry for sure. I mean, this is already fried, I think, because look at that right here. Look at this thick layer of dust. Nothing is circulating here. Nothing is cooling here. This system, you can even see the heat marks around the GPU and CPU. So how long it's gonna last, if it's gonna even work. No idea. So the point is I need to clean up those heat sinks right now. Alright, so this is clean, that's clean, this is clean, that's clean. Right here, everything inside should be clean. So everything's clean. Alright, now we wanna take this guy and clean this guy as well. Yeah, this is not working for sure. I mean, it does work, but it doesn't do anything. This is 99% ISP, because otherwise this whole thing gonna be all over the place here. Alright, so cleaned up that, cleaned up this thing. I mean, you still have to use Q-tips. I'm just trying to make sure that all the radioactive dust can be removed. And I will just let it soak, and then I will just scoop it up. Alright. So those guys we're just gonna set aside. Alrighty. Okay, next things. Here, let's try and see if we can get this guy out of there. Maybe. No? Probably glued in really heavily in there. Let's see. Okay. Come on. Yep. Yep, there is a glue pad right underneath there. Anyways, we can put this guy back, so we would not forget. Okay. Alrighty. Good job. Now let's see if we can lift up this guy right here carefully. Don't break it. You break it, you're pretty much done. Nobody gonna be fixing this guy. I mean, somebody would, but I don't think you can pay me enough. I mean, you could pay me enough. It just, again, I have those coming in, and instead of fixing this guy, I would rather fix 5 of those than 1 of those. So, again, it's all about specialization. All right, so we got this guy out. And my guess, we need to flip it this way right here, because we got 1 wire right here, which we should not forget about. All right, that's that right here. So you could send us the motherboard this way. You can also clean up the GPU and CPU. Please buy a thermal paste, the cheapest one possible, because some people buy the most expensive thermal paste, which is a liquid metal. And the liquid metal, you should understand that if it spreads out a little bit around on those capacitors right there, you're gonna short the board. You're gonna short the GPU. So if you don't know what you're doing, the cheapest possible thermal paste, you're gonna be good. All right. So now what I wanted to show you is once you got the board out, how you can detect if this board is gonna be fixable or not. We got the cheapest possible voltmeter. We put it on ohms right here. X1K, it says ohms is the cheapest one. All right, I got not the cheapest one, but that's probably what you got in there. We're gonna test it to make sure it's gonna be showing us 0. If it doesn't show us 0, we're gonna adjust it so it would show us 0. And now what you wanna do, yeah, right here. So you put the metal on any metal part right here, for example, right here. All right. And the second thing you want to do, you want to put it right on this component right here. Let me zoom in. You see this IC chip right here? This one, power distribution chip. Right next to it is a shiny blob of solder. And you put this guy on that shiny blob of solder. And you see it shows us 1.8 ohms. Now, if it would show us something like that, 0, right? That means the board is already fried. But if it shows us 1.8 ohms right here, that means the board is going to be fine after the jack replacement. Because this guy component right here, usually when the board is already fried, this guy shows us 0 on both sides. It shows us something like that right here, 0. But this on this side, you see it shows us 1.8. I'm talking about this guy right here. And let me zoom in using my other camera. I'm gonna show you one more time. So you see right here, we got a capacitor. On one side of the capacitor, it shows us 1.8. On the other side, it shows us 0. That means the board is fine. That means that once I replace this jack, everything should be working fine. If the board isn't fine anymore, this component right here would show us 0 right here and 0 on this side. Again, I'm not sure if maybe this guy IC chip goes out because I don't have those. I mean, this is Lenovo proprietary chip. I don't know where to get them. So something has to do something like right here. And I already tried to remove all of that stuff and still nothing works on the other board. So something someplace here that's shorting out. And it's on all of the Lenovo. All of the Lenovo has exactly the same thing. The easiest way to see it is right here. It's almost always under the Wi-Fi card. So you flip to the other side. On the other side of the Wi-Fi card, if you get the shortage right here, that means the board is not fixable. There is no reason to send the board this way or anywhere else, because if I can fix it, I don't think there are many people who can. If those who can, again, I could pay you. Just let me know what am I replacing and if it's replaceable. I mean, if I need to replace this guy, I don't know where to find it. I mean, it's not for sale. IC chips go out all the time on laptops that use a USB Type-C connection. And I still can't find them from Lenovo's anywhere because it's all proprietary stuff. You can't do anything there. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna insulate the area near the connector so that nothing would be desoldered in any way, shape, or form. I've been talking too much, I guess, today. Hold on, something. Oh, all right. I was like, did I break something? Now is a good time probably to clean the so my table won't get dirty. Alrighty, I'm insulating the area around the jack so that none of the nearby components would get overheated, would not fly off the motherboard. And what I want to do, usually I use this Captain Tape right here. Captain Tape, the link is below. If you use the link below, it's just a couple of bucks. I will get a cent or two. Yeah. So this Captain Tape, you could use it all over the place. It just, I got a whole bunch of this 3M tape. This is really expensive one. This is like 45 bucks or so for 3 rolls of really tiny rolls. I mean, they pretty much protect up to the up to 400 degrees, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Really expensive stuff, but I just don't want to. I mean, this is just a few dollars right here. The Captain Tape. Have it on this roll, put it on, and you're good to go, and you know that nothing gonna melt right here. All right. I'm just concerned about this area because that's where all the heat gonna be at. And yeah. So the goal here, how we're gonna take it apart is this. I'm gonna put a whole bunch of flux right here, and right there. Then I'm gonna add leaded base solder to all of the connections here and on the other side. And once I add the leaded base solder, I would be able to, and as it says on our website, please text us because I might be recording a video, I might be working on somebody else's laptop, I might be working on your laptop. So text us or email us if, come on. Sorry about that. All right. All right. So what I was saying, yeah, a leaded base solder right here, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. And then I apply a whole bunch of heat around the area using the hot air. And this guy's supposed to pop right out. Let me show you how I'm gonna do that. Alrighty, so what we got here is backlegs, which we're gonna put a whole bunch of flux on. All right. And then we're gonna use some solder. And we're gonna power up the hot air station. Just a little bit of hot air, not too much, just so that the solder would melt easier. Put some solder on the tip of the soldering iron, and we just add the solder to the rear pins. Not only the pins, you want to add it to make sure it's gonna mix with the solder on the motherboard. If it's not gonna mix with the solder on the motherboard, what you're doing here is useless, totally useless. All right. All right. And all right. So hopefully we're gonna be able to mix it here. Then we're gonna flip the motherboard like that. And we're gonna add some solder here. Now a little bit more flux would help a lot. All right, people just can't read that. Just text us, will ya? All right. Okay. Alrighty. And okay. Good job. Oh, you don't want it to be all right like that. And now what I'm doing, the reason why you have this rib cage right here right. The reason why you have this rib cage right here is so that it will be pushing on the jack from the bottom. That rail I meant. All right, once it pushes on the bottom, I am able to massage the solder into the points, soldering points. All right, you see this one pops right out. And I'm sure that this one gonna pop right out as well. All right, okay. Come on, pop right out. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. Good job. And good job. Wonderful. All right, one thing that was missing here is the pad. I don't want my enclosure right here to be melted away. So next thing that we're gonna do here is we're gonna suck all of the solder from the soldering joints. All right, we're gonna solder this guy out. Okay. And okay. All right. Let's see if this one is... Yeah, we still got some solder on the negative ones right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip the board over and desolder all of the solder from the bottom. All right. All right. Okay. All right, so I see a lot of stuff being stuck inside. So I'm gonna add some flux right here. And once I added some flux, I should be able to suck all of the solder. Now don't press the soldering iron into the slots. Just slightly touch it. And the flux will do the job by itself. Just do a whole bunch of flux. The more flux, the better. No flux, nothing gonna flow. Doesn't matter how bad you wiggled your soldering iron here. All right, so there is a problem on one of those ends. Yeah, doesn't wanna. You know what? How about I'm gonna bring this guy closer, and now I would be able to probably suck it right out. Okay, you see? Right out. Beautiful. So right now the holes are nice and empty. You don't have to drill through them. Don't drill, don't shove anything in there, because the pads are gonna get damaged if you're gonna shove anything in there. The board is kind of hot, really easy to get burnt. All right. Try not to be breaking this guy. Once you break this guy apart, it's gonna be really hard to remove the jack. As long as it's all intact, it's much easier to remove the connector than when you just cut it off piece by piece and tell me, you know what, I almost already removed the connector. And when I hear a client saying, well, I almost removed the connector, that means that means I will have a lot more problems to deal with. Alrighty, so the goal here is to install this guy properly. That's a brand new replacement connector. If you want, you can buy one of those from our website. Just type in Lenovo Legion on our website below, the parts website. We got the parts website and we got the repair website. So you need to go to the parts website. Here you're gonna drop it in. You see how easily it goes in right there. Then you're gonna add some pressure right there on the board so that this guy would be sitting properly. And then like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that and like that. Good job. Flip this guy over. Alrighty. Now what we're gonna do here is add some flux here, right there. And make sure you solder it the proper way. That's the proper way to solder it. Basically, that's the bottom, so it should be like that, sitting like that. Alright? Because if you put it upside down, you just did a lot of useless work. It's gonna work, but it's not gonna look exactly right. All right. Alrighty, so what I'm doing here, I'm just cleaning up the whole mess so that everything would be nice and shiny. I wonder why is this thing doesn't... No, looks good. Looks good. It's maybe my monitor isn't bright enough. Alright. Just make sure that none of the stuff is left on the board. Alright. Let's Let's clean up this area right here as well. All right. So let me show you the final product. You see how it shines? Wait, where is it? Right here. You see? Better than factory. Now I have to dry it off using the wipes, special wipes. Kim wipes it's called. They don't really leave any lint. Let's clean the CPU as well. CPU, GPU. All right. Alrighty, I will continue cleaning, just I need to pause for a second. Alright, after close-up inspection, I realized that there is still some not completely soldered points on the grounds, because ground requires a lot more heat. So here, let's try and solder the grounds a bit more. Alright. It should be penetrating the board. It shouldn't be just being a blob. It should be penetrated through the board. I think now it's penetrated through the board. Let's take a look. Yep, right now it's penetrated through the board. So now again, clean it again. All right. And do wipe out here. And then we're gonna do the Kim Tech again. All right, looks good. All right, let's see. Good job. Alrighty. All right, so everything's clean, everything clean, dried off. And what I want to do now is I want to double check to make sure that nothing is shorting. And nothing should be shorting. Okay. All right. So negative is working, positive shows us resistance. A data signal right here, really important, shows us 2 ohms. This one shows us 11, 12. And this one is 0, 0 and 0. So the jack is fine. The jack is totally fine. It should work ideally. Now, when you put it all back together, one thing you not need to forget is this cable right here. On most of the Lenovo Legions, I'm not sure what this cable does, maybe some sort of backlight or something. You connect it here, close it down right there, and then you put everything like that. Like that. All right. Here what you want to do is you want to get this cable out. And here we're gonna get something like that. Good job. Good job. And right here we got all right. Okay. Close that. All right, so now that everything is connected, what else left to do right here is connect this guy right here. All right. There's gonna be a long screw going in through right here. I wanna clean up this stuff right here. All right, so by the way, many times you do need to buy a new power supply. Sometimes you get a complaint that the client gets the laptop back or the motherboard back, and they still have to wiggle it. The reason they have to wiggle it because the inside of the plug, you see right here, it has a whole bunch of blackness. You see? But not so much. You see, there's still some shiny stuff in there. But there's blackness when you come to the beginning of the connector. That blackness is what's called oxidation. And that oxidation sometimes doesn't let a good contact through. Doesn't let the current to go through. So that's one of the reasons why you might want to buy a new power supply. So here we're going to do something like that. All right. Oh, wrong screw. This screw has to be that one. The one that has a sticker on, basically. We can remove the sticker so it won't be in the way. Alrighty. I get some hues right here that this area has been overheated here. Coloring hues. So, oh yeah, I forgot. We still need to clean the fans. All right, let's get to it. Ready. Add some alcohol, some Q-tips, and clean this guy up. I mean, fan is like a turbine in the airplane. If there is a whole bunch of dust inside, it's not gonna take off. It's not gonna do anything. It's still gonna spin, but quite honestly, this is not the way how it's supposed to be. Okay. Okay. Good job. Excellent. All right. Let's do this guy as well. Let's find the place that's alrighty. Again, if this laptop wouldn't fail from the power jack issue, it would fail from overheating for sure. So if one day it just stopped working, it's probably a GPU or CPU that stopped working. Good job. Yeah, excellent. All right. So I will give it another year. No, I mean, now that's everything nice and clean, I will give it another 2 years maybe. It all depends how the people gonna use it. Okay. So I think this goes on top or this goes on the bottom. I don't remember exactly. Let's take a look how it goes first. Yeah, it's gonna go like that. And that's gonna go like that. Like that. And We can remove the dirt. Right, so here we're gonna connect this guy, connected that guy, and we're gonna add some thermal paste right here and right there. Just gonna remove excess. That's here. And excess right here as well. Let's remove that. Now make sure all of the pads right here are in place. All right, you see, like that. Now we're gonna tighten up some screws. Okay, really small tiny screw goes right there. All right, so what next is here? We need to put the... I wonder if we first put this guy and then we put the battery on. Or, yeah, we're probably gonna put the battery on first. But this is the hard drive right here, which we're gonna connect right there like that. Close it down. Close this guy down. All right, wonderful. Let's put this guy on right here. Okay. Let's unscrew that guy right here. Okay. All right. Okay. And alrighty, good job. Now what we want to do is we want to put the hard drive in place. Okay, like that. Okay. Oh, the command. Like that. So you see, everything is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. But again, as long as the motherboard is not fried, everything should be fine. Alright, here as we don't have a screw going in well in. Yeah, this needs something smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Well, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Here. Silver screw right there. Silver screw right there. Here, let me match something up. Even though it should go in. Strange, I wonder why not. Yeah, it stops going in halfway. Okay. No big deal. Let's find a small screw that's gonna hold this guy down. The reason you want this metal bracket down, so it will dissipate the heat. Alright, it's gonna take me 1 second here to find the proper screw. Here. Let's try this guy. Oh, come on. Alright. Wonderful. Wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. Good job. Alright, we got one more screw right here to put like that. Okay. Those are all done. Those guys connected. Alright, everything's connected here. This guy's connected, even though there's no hard drive inside. Let's connect the battery. Wonderful. Excellent. Okay. Let's put the top cover on. Carefully. Alright. Alright. Good job. Okay. Wonderful. Let's see how well it's gonna work. By the way, if you don't have a Lenovo power supply, it's probably not gonna power up the system. The reason being, there is a chip built into the tip right here. Not so much a chip, but mostly a resistor. And if that resistor doesn't provide the output to the laptop, it's not even gonna power up well. Alright, so here everything should be connected here solidly. Let's see if this thing gonna power it up. Alright. Let's measure the voltage on the output. Alright, so here. Let's measure the voltage on the output. Yep. And you see, we don't get any output on the black spots right there. When I'm touching the black spots, nothing is conducting, but when I put it slightly deeper, yeah, so yeah, we got no contact on the oxidation, but when I push something deeper, there is a good contact. So on both sides, you see oxidation here, oxidation there. So I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work here right now, but in case the client will ever start to wiggle it again, you see the red light came on. Like that maybe. You see? Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna power it up. And I'm not gonna show you the client information if it's gonna power up, but just I wanna show you the splash screen that the Legion came up. I mean, in my opinion, this should work, because unless somebody screwed around with the laptop before, which there are some screws missing, which is no big deal. Oh yeah, right there, Lenovo Legion. Okay. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe. I will keep posting you which laptops I would spend my money on. You see right there, it shows plugged in. Right there, plugged in. And let's see if we can get inside. There is a password protection. Obviously, we don't need the passwords for anybody. Just want to double check that the Wi-Fi is working. Wi-Fi is working. And keyboard is working. Touchpad is working. All right, we're all good. Yeah. Good job. Excellent. Let me shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Alrighty. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.